saying is every time I hear a question answered here, this takes a long time. We have to accelerate this stuff because there's other communities. I'll give you Niverville, for instance. They're off the beaten path, but they're attracting business like crazy. We're right on #1 highway and we're attracting nothing.
Is that a question? Or
Yes, that's a statement first, I said, and then a question. You had to listen. Okay. So I want to know if you're going to develop a committee to start working on it now, because I don't want to hear in 4 years,
No,
oh, this is a long-term thing.
the committee is going to be set up once we subdivide and sell and have seed money to hire other people and get it moving. I mean, that's coming up next summer.
Richard, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, definitely. If I mean, I hear you, and that's what I'm here for. I want to hear. I have 2 years to listen to you guys, and that's what you want a committee to work together to bring business. We will make it. We'll have a committee.
Next question?
No, thank you. Good evening.
No
Captain.
questions in French.
Just in Ukrainian. Are you ready? Hi, my name is Pat Luchik. I live out here in Richard. We've been here 10 years. We're renters. But my rent also pays for my landlord's taxes. What are either one of you going to do to bring Richard more to life with business and that? What we have for business right now, I don't consider really that great. A service station to me is not a business that brings people in. You understand what I'm getting at? It's a service station, that's it. I'd like to see other stuff come up in here. We have the rodeo, that's great. We have the museum, that's great. And I get involved in those things. But what else is there for me to have out here?
Your question?
That's
please?
my question. What is your mandate to bring something to Richard?
Richard, if you would answer, take the first stab at that, please.
So, my mandate here is it's exactly to listen to you guys and you want business. We definitely, like the first question that Pat brought up, are we going to have a committee to bring business? Yes. Are you going to help to, whoever going to get involved in the committee, you have a heart and passion for Richard, you want to develop a committee and bring business, we will make it happen. This is what is going to happen, it's what you guys want. Is there any business that knock at the door today? I'm not sure. But there is business all over the place that are always looking for place. And yes, Richard, #1 highway is the best place to do business. We're in Center Canada. You definitely will be open for business. I'll tell you, one thing that it was, when I rebuilt the plant here, the factory was going south. There is, La Roquerie offered land, Sprague offered land, tax write-off and so on. At that time, Richard helped, not Richard, the RM helped a little bit, tax and so on, but very little. That was too little. Because a factory is paying so much in tax. If a factory is to be offered to build here, and the factory costs, this one costs 25 million, and the factory costs 100 million, and they pay $150,000 in tax a year. If we have to give them $500,000, that's an investment, that's no money.
Paul, would you like to answer the question?
On the front of industry, and like you're looking at small businesses of sorts where they employ people, you have to build this infrastructure for them to locate at that fits their needs before. I mean, a business isn't going to come in and start shopping around for property. That's why the industrial parts of the RM that are allocated for that have to be earmarked for it and advertised as such and open to businesses to come and set up. And they're already, quite mindful about what they set up and how much employment they will require, because I know if you build it, they will come, but sometimes just supplying employment to a place is a bit of a challenge. Premier, for instance, I think a lot of them travel from all over the place. They're not all from Richard, which is a good thing, but they are sometimes struggling for employment as well. We have to build the land and the areas for them to be interested in before they come in, and then it attracts people.
That didn't answer my question, but that's fine.
You raised a good point. Reeve, dairy producer and grain farmer on the road on the Armistead. Just for a fact, you rose the peat moss is 25 million a year of income that we're bringing in. The dairy industry in the Armistead is probably in the 60 million a year of income, plus the hog and other industry. All I'm asking is that on drainage and road maintenance, we must not be forgotten. When you do clean a road and you put the equipment into it and do a nice ditch with laser and all that, but where it falls apart after is 4 or 5 years down the road after, it should be cleaned out at the bottom to make all the saplings away to make it drain properly. That would be cheaper than 25 years and have to redo it again. So maybe we should have a game plan to maintain these ditches better. You're doing a good job with the road, please, with the grass cutter and all that, and that's much appreciated. But on the part of the drainage, we need a drainage plan, that 5-year plan or 10-year plan, that when you do drain, good to go back into it and clean the bottom of these ditches so that the drainage keeps on flowing. And I'm not only talking for agriculture. Lots of residential lots are getting flooded out because of that. So something that we need in our game plan to maintain that. So that's a question for both of you. Do you have anything inside that you would see that we would be agriculture and all the lots owners and all the development that are out there are being looked after, because drainage is pretty important.
Richard, if you would take the first stab at it. The question, as I understood it, is, do you see the development of a long-term drainage plan?
Well, I think the province is already, they have management in regard to drainage and so on through the province. And I think it's for us, definitely in the small municipality, to put pressure and to follow up with the government what they recommend and what they to do. Is definitely important for a farmer. Like, farmer now is not just a farmer, it's a business. Like, you're right, when you say, like, you invest, if you got 1,000 acres and so on and so forth, that's worth a lot of money. You have, and you count on having good crop and good result and where your animal and so on and so forth. It's a really good business. It's a big business. It's really serious, and definitely we put pressure with the government what they're going to do, and we keep pressure with them, and they will serve. I mean, we did have some problem last spring with St. Anne. It was solved right away. I had direct contact at that point with the person in charge for the west, for the south, well, for the east, north, south, east part of the province, and they work very well with us. They respond to our ditch and water flooding and so on. So this today, with technology and satellite and so on, and responsibility of the government, that should be well managed, like, promptly.
Paul, do you want to address the issue of a long-term drainage plan?
We always sit and strategize for either the year coming up, prioritize our drains that are needing the work the most, and we always set up a 5-year plan, in fact, where there's going to be some new stuff put in. We work with MTI, they used to be MIT, they change often. Anyways, we work in collaboration with them on always making sure that the drains are taken care of. A lot of them are their main drains, and we have very good public works people that stay on them and apply for permits for even some farmers where they rather do the work themselves to see it done quicker. We will supply permits, and a lot of times a way of dispersing of the soil, if they want it on their field or not. We work with everybody, and we try to maintain all ditches, and everything is viewed yearly as far as a drive around. And of course, in the last few years was dry, there was no draining issues. This year, you see the sore spots, we've identified them. we know exactly where we're going with what needs to be repaired, redone, and reclaimed. And